Everyone has always told Lori Granger that her last name is cursed. They think she'll either be a victim or an attacker before graduation. In a way, this all made sense to her that day. The chaos began 2 days ago in Shadyside High, which is known for making something in people snap. The school is infamous, but Vice Principal Dolores Breckenridge is determined to change that outlook. She used to reform bad girls in a convent, and is determined to do the same in Shadyside. In front of her, even Principal Wayland has no authority. Everyone is preparing for prom, including Harmony LaFay, the school reporter. 6 girls are running this year for prom queen. The favorite one is Tiffany Falconer, who has scared everyone and leads the wolf pack. She's competing against Christy Renaud, who is a rebel and a dealer. Tiffany is also competing with girls from her own wolf pack. That includes Linda, who helps Tiffany get better grades. Debbie, who is basically Tiffany's mouthpiece and known for ruining reputations, is also in the running. Melissa is more of Tiffany's lapdog and follows every instruction. The 6th candidate is Lori, who is not popular at all. Her best friend Megan, who is obsessed with horror and getting high, isn't a huge fan of prom. Lori doesn't think she can become the prom queen, but she wants to participate to divert everyone's attention from her sob story. During class, when Lori shares that she wants to be a writer, Tiffany reminds her of the time her mother stabbed her dad in the face. Megan stands up for Lori, but the wolf pack continues to be mean to her. Tired of their constant teasing, Megan dramatically stands up and chops off. There's a lot of fake blood around, and she gets called to the principal's office for the stunt. Lori is impressed with her simulated self-mutilation and thinks that might be Megan's masterpiece. Megan is just tired of the wolf pack attacking Lori's family when she knows her mom is innocent. While shopping for a prom dress, Megan and Lori decide to be each other's dates. As Lori works at the diner, Tiffany insults her and calls her a waitress in front of her friends. That night, when Lori is still working, Tiffany's boyfriend, Tyler, comes back to the diner to get the jacket he forgot. He is excited about her wanting to be a writer because he has observed her big plans since they were kids. He feels bad that his parents and Tiffany don't think he will ever amount to anything. He likes that Lori is nice to him and encourages him. Lori feels bad that her mom isn't happy about her running for prom queen like she hoped. She was nominated in her time, but they canceled the prom after what happened with her dad. Megan asks Lori to spy on Tiffany and her mother Nancy across the street. She doesn't know which of them is worse. When Tiffany comes out wearing her prom dress, Nancy calls her husband Dan to look at her. Dan cheers Tiffany on, and even Nancy asks her to remember that she will win because she's special. Melissa keeps buttering Tiffany, so she invites her to her room and gives her a spare dress. As Christy walks back home alone, someone in a red coat and mask follows her. She begs for her life when she faces him, but he doesn't show any mercy and slashes her. When Christy doesn't turn up the next morning, everyone assumes that she must be high. Tiffany feels relieved till she gets worried about Linda distributing flyers to promote herself. Dolores judges Christy for dating an older man and wearing cowboy boots, so she's not surprised she's missing. Freddie, the prom DJ, asks if Megan and Lori have any requests. Lori wants him to play Prince songs, but Judd wants Freddie to stick to his playlist. The prom candidates are asked to assemble in the hall, and Christy is disqualified for not turning up. While they practice for the crowning ceremony, Lori notices how fake the Wolfpack girls are with each other. Spider assures Lori that he has convinced some people to vote for her. He, like many others, doesn't like the dominance of the Wolfpack. Dolores also encourages Lori because she's the typical good girl and asks her to shine. Dolores knows Lori's mother and is sure she was falsely accused. She hopes Lori can represent the bright future of the new shady side. Tiffany teases Lori for working before prom and makes a nasty comment about how everyone hated her mom for ruining their prom. She asks Lori not to cross her in her secondhand dress, but Lori doesn't care much about her warnings. Megan asks Christy's boyfriend Jimmy about her. She needs her stash for prom from Christy, but Jimmy hasn't heard from her. As Tiffany gets ready for prom, Nancy asks her to make sure she wins against a Granger. Lori's mother remembers how excited she was when she ran for prom queen. She feels bad that Lori has had to carry the weight of what happened with her father. Lori assures her mom that she's only running to make her proud. As prom begins, the students begin spiking the drinks. With the voting starting at 11, Dolores asks the candidates to introduce themselves. Lori takes the stage, but the Wolfpack girls come out in spandex bodysuits and overshadow her. Lori feels uncomfortable as the crowd cheers for them and their dance. She runs away from the stage to join Megan. Dolores hates the dance, but Nancy thinks she should be more liberal in 1988. Tiffany is disappointed with Tyler for missing one step in their dance. She reminds him to be the best and remember what is expected of him that night. Tiffany's followers, Claire and Gerald, distribute flyers for her and even ask Lori to vote for her. Claire doesn't think Lori can win against Tiffany anyway. Megan teases Tiffany's minions and highlights how weird Tiffany is. Linda's boyfriend, Bobby, wants some time alone with her. Linda notices that someone has drawn a mustache on her flyers and wants to take revenge. She walks towards the door, but gets slashed in her stomach. It takes a while for Bobby to realize her condition, and when he does, he gets murdered too. Meanwhile, Judd keeps scolding Freddie for not sticking to his playlist. Lori blushes when she's near Tyler, and he compliments her dress. He assures her it's much better than the spandex, and makes her feel comfortable. Someone screams when they find Tiffany's severed head in the drinks bowl. When everyone realizes that Tiffany is very much alive, they know this must be Megan's trick. Megan denies it, but Dolores scolds Lori and her. Lori cares more about the girls insulting her because she desperately wants to become the prom queen. She thinks Megan keeps ruining her plans and making it worse. Megan, still, doesn't think anything in Shadyside will ever change. Debbie feels jealous of Melissa dancing with Tiffany when she has had her back for so many years. Judd wants to give Debbie something and takes her to the basement. Lori is informed about a delivery for her, while Megan spots Jimmy at the dance and asks about Christy again. Jimmy hasn't seen her in 2 days and is frustrated with the cops for not doing anything about it. Judd gifts Debbie his mom's necklace, so she agrees to kiss him. They both hear something, and the man in the red coat soon slashes his face. Debbie screams and tries to run away, and Megan also almost hears her. She thinks some students are fooling around and walks away anyway. Debbie gets electrocuted while trying to run away, and the attacker lets her be. Tiffany makes fun of Lori for receiving roses from someone. She has noticed Lori and Tyler exchanging glances, and doesn't like it. She also informs Melissa that Lori has been pursuing Tyler. She asks Lori to remember what happens when someone like her falls for a man out of their league. She recounts a story of Rosemary, who fell in love with a good-looking guy. When Rosemary got pregnant, he left her and Rosemary slit his throat. Melissa keeps asking Tiffany to stop tormenting Lori with this story, but she doesn't care. Tiffany regrets that the police couldn't prove Rosemary's role because everyone has been talking about it. It turns out that Rosemary is Lori's mother, and Tiffany is teasing her, yet again, for being a murderer's daughter. When Lori is in tears, Melissa finally raises her voice against Tiffany. As Debbie's locket keeps producing currents in the basement, Wayland asks Stoker, the cleaner there, to check out what the problem is. Freddie soon starts playing his own songs when Judd is missing for a while. Lori keeps crying in the bathroom with her mascara all smudged up. Melissa feels bad for her and gives her some makeup to fix her look. When Lori walks back into the hall, everyone admires her. Melissa tries to talk to Lori, but Tiffany interrupts them and wants to know why they're friendly. She's mad at Melissa for taking Lori's side and demands to have her dress back. Melissa feels hurt and heads out. Everyone asks Tiffany and Lori to participate in a dance-off. Lori starts dancing freely and is much better than Tiffany. Melissa changes her clothes and tries to calm herself down. The crowd keeps cheering for both the girls, but soon, Lori takes the lead. When Tiffany's dress is about to fall off, Claire pulls the plug so Tiffany doesn't have to be humiliated anymore. When Melissa is alone in the locker, the man in the red coat finds her. She calls out for help, but the attacker finishes her off, and another one drags her body. Harmony asks for Tyler's thoughts on the dance-off, but he replies very diplomatically because he's scared of Tiffany. Tiffany confronts Tyler about the looks he has been exchanging with Lori all night. She asks him to think about their future together, but he's tired of her controlling him all the time. He breaks up with her. Megan smokes up with Spider in a hideout and wonders when something wrong will happen. Chad can't find Melissa anywhere, and asks Megan to look for his other friends too. Megan also notices the man in the red coat, but he quickly disappears. After Tiffany notices a lot of stolen glances across the floor, Tyler finally approaches Lori. He tries to kiss her, but Megan interrupts them and takes Lori aside. She informs her about the masked figure and all the missing people. Lori doesn't like that Megan interrupted her moment and calls her crazy. She thinks Megan is jealous that things are finally going her way. Since she's upset, Tyler offers to take Lori to a quiet spot. Megan is sure she heard a scream and wants to investigate. She asks Spider about the power room and starts heading towards the basement. Tyler brings Lori backstage to the auditorium and tries to kiss her again. Lori doesn't feel comfortable after her fight with Megan and wants some space. When Tyler tries to grab her, someone slashes Tyler too. Megan arrives at the basement and almost faints after looking at all the bodies, including Stoker's. Lori hears her scream and follows her to the basement. They both keep screaming at each other as they realize that everyone is getting attacked. They come face to face with the attacker, but keep yelling and try to hide themselves in different rooms. When Lori spots a window, they quickly climb outside. As they run for their lives, the counting of votes finishes, and the results are in. Lori is crowned the prom queen, but she's more eager to warn everyone. As she disappears in the crowd, the attacker strikes again. He chops off Wayland's hand and targets Lori. Just then, Megan climbs on him and does everything to save Lori. When the attacker turns on Megan, Lori takes off her tiara and rips off his one eye. Since he's in a lot of pain, the others manage to grab him and unmask him. Tiffany is shocked to find that her dad is the attacker, and Nancy is speechless. When she asks Dan why he did this, he claims he wanted the best for both of them. He doesn't care about everyone he hurt, because he thinks people only remember who won the prom at the end of the day. Lori and Megan thank each other for saving their lives, and Lori feels bad for not listening to her earlier. Megan finally thinks there has been some change, because someone like Lori, who truly deserves it, has become the prom queen. When Megan is taken away in an ambulance, Lori watches Dan being put in a police car. Nancy is supposed to stay back for her statement, so Lori agrees to drop Tiffany off at her house with the police escorts. In the car, Tiffany apologizes to Lori. She understands what Tiffany is going through and asks her not to worry. When they reach home, Lori decides to stay back with Tiffany because she's feeling very scared. Nancy is worried about her daughter being all alone in the house and convinces the sheriff to let her go. The sheriff asks the officer at Tiffany's house to come pick Nancy up so she can go home. When Nancy gets home, she looks murderous before heading towards Tiffany's room. Lori and Tiffany watch her approaching them and try to hide from her. Tiffany asks Lori to hide with her in the closet, and she seems very scared. She has heard about Judd's face being cut in half and Debbie being fried. Lori asks her to be quiet so they don't alert Nancy. But there's a sudden change in Tiffany's tone. When Lori realizes Tiffany was probably part of the murders, it's too late because Tiffany tries to stab her with a knife. Lori tries to run away, but she's stuck with 2 murderers in the house. Great, it's a family business. Nancy looks at the fear in Lori's face and remembers her dad's last moments. Nancy admits that she stabbed Lori's father because he rejected her to be with Rosemary. Nancy hates that Lori and her mother have taken things from her family and wants to finish off Lori. Tiffany asks Nancy to let her handle Lori, but Lori takes that opportunity to kick Tiffany off the stairs. She falls right down and gets impaled. As Nancy tries to process what happened with her daughter, Lori tries to get away from her. All the doors are locked, and Nancy knows there is no way out for her. Lori looks around and waits for Nancy to make her move with her knife. When she tries to attack Lori, she runs towards the cabinet and hits Nancy's head with an award. She leaves Nancy whimpering and groaning in pain and walks out of the house feeling a new kind of confidence.